Here with us now, Republican strategist Alex Zdan and News Nation political contributor, Democratic strategist and former D.C. Democratic Party Chair Scott Bolden. Good morning to both of you again. Thanks for joining. All right, Trump, we heard him. Hey, there's no clash. You're just causing trouble, he says to the NBC reporter. But this week, he did pull in the reins a bit. Let's listen to what he said.
I want the cabinet members to keep good people. I don't want to see a big cut where a lot of good people are cut. I want the cabinet members to keep the good people, and the people that aren't doing a good job, that are unreliable, don't show up to work, etc., those people can be cut.
All right, Alex, I'm so curious. What are you hearing behind the scenes? What's your reaction? Are administration officials feeling blindsided by these DOGE cuts?
I think that if you look at what the New York Times reported, a lot of legacy media people, a lot of those so-called defenders of democracy for years, including back in the first Trump term, have wanted a team of rivals around President Trump. There's a real lot of love for that Doris Kearns Goodwin book. Well, they got what they wanted. It is a team of rivals around President Trump, and that's President Trump's management style, is to let people talk about it. And if you also look at that reporting, what's being left out of this narrative is that at the end of the day, according to the New York Times, President Trump sided with his cabinet secretaries. He sided with them behind the scenes, and he sided with them publicly in that clip that you just showed. So there is obviously a coordinated effort to cut the size of government. The cabinet secretaries are leading it with the advice of Elon Musk. The person in charge is the president of the United States, as per the Constitution. That, to me, is what's going on here. That's what you're seeing happen. That's how we're going to right-size the federal government.
Scott, what do you make of this apparent power shift? I hear you laughing. What's going on?
Well, I'm listening to Alex, and as a former managing partner of a D.C. office of an international law firm, let me tell you something. There's natural tension between a consultant and between those who lead departments who either hire, fire, or have a profit and loss statement. Those are the leaders of those departments that are in control. The natural tension is you've got DOGE and you've got Elon Musk and his team, who are really consultants. And the question has always been for Democrats and others, who's in charge? This is the federal government, not a technology company. You cannot slash and burn. And that meeting, and I've had many of those meetings with my team members, Alex is right. It's one thing to have, this constructive conversation. You're going to have people who disagree privately. But here, this is a power struggle within the Trump administration. And who is Elon Musk to the process and the administration? Is he a consultant to DOGE, or his consultants to his consultants, if you will? It's very confusing. And here again, Elon Musk is getting a lot of negative press, which is causing those heads of those agencies to ask the question, who's in charge? Now, Trump may have decided that publicly and privately, but look for more. There's just too much power, undefined power with Elon Musk, and there's a big risk and a big debate, a big bet going on right now whether this slash and burn really works or not. I don't think it's going to work, because you're dealing with political parties in the United States government. You're not dealing with a technology company.
You two seem to agree on this, I have to say. Let's talk tariffs, guys. We've seen a lot of twists and turns this week. Trump threatened new tariffs on Canada less than 24 hours after pushing off most of those tariffs until next month. Alex, what's the strategy here for the Trump administration?
Canada's dairy tariff on American dairy farmers is obscene. And it's amazing to me that previous presidents have not addressed that in the manner that President Trump wants to address it. You can tell from some of the clips that you've been showing that President Trump is not happy about Canadian dairy tariffs that harm American small businesses. So what you've seen with this pull and push, this negotiation, this art of the deal that President Trump is trying to make with Canada is a push to sit down and negotiate. And you also have seen over the past few days these exemptions for the big three automakers, a more tailored approach that is going to not rule with a complete slash and burn. It's going to be targeted to help American companies like our dairy farmers and like automakers. This is a very smart approach, an informed approach, and I also think that it is leading to an ultimate big top negotiation.
Let's stay on tariffs here. My colleague Alina Shirazi just mentioned that possible 250% tariff on dairy and timber exports from Canada. Now a Democratic congressman from Pennsylvania on Friday said the party could benefit from getting behind tariffs. This is what he said in a social media post. It was Chris Deluzio. He's from a district where quote, lousy trade deals like NAFTA stripped us for parts, Democrats. He said, need to rethink the idea tariffs are always bad. I need to ask your reaction here, Scott.
Well, tariffs are not all bad if they're done strategically and appropriately. Here, again, it's slash and burn. And here's the real issue. Why do we have to have these public displays of chest beat thumping in regard to tariffs that most economists, independent economists, say are going to cause the prices to rise for Americans in an economy where you've got inflation, though coming down under the Democratic administration? You don't want to do anything to get us in a trade war or to increase prices. And that's exactly what this administration is doing. Don't let the jobs report from yesterday, the 150,000 jobs, fool you. All these layoffs, including the private corporate layoffs, didn't make it into that report. And so here's a different approach. I think Alex is right. Why not just negotiate privately, threaten them with tariffs if they don't give us a fair deal, as opposed to embarrassing them and fighting with our neighbors and our friends on the north and the south of us? There's just a different approach to do it. Now, ultimately, he may get what he wants, if you will, but at the same time, why cause all that political and economic damage in the way to get it when you can get there a completely different way? It's a management style, I guess, and maybe you get there, but it's not good for America, and it's certainly not going to be good for the economy. Look at the markets that are fluctuating. We lost about 1,200 points just alone on these tariffs, and then he pulls them back. And so that causes more uncertainty in the markets, if you will. It's just not a good political or business approach.
Alex, I want to give you the last word very quickly.
He's a congressman. He's a Democrat from Western Pennsylvania. It sounds to me like he wants to get reelected. That's why he's suggesting this move.
Hey, Scott Bolden, Alex Zdan, we really do appreciate both of you together.
I agree with Alex on that point. I agree with you.
You guys have agreed a little bit more than usual. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon.